Hi, everyone. Sherry Sokolowski, Strategic Event Planner of SLS Event Planning and Consulting. I wanted to talk about how eager people are ready to get back to events. And what say you? Do you feel the same way? Or are you still unsure or unknown if people are going to want to start going back to events again or not? Well, I wanted to talk about this today because I have an article that came across my desk just the other day where North Star Meetings took a survey to find out how eager event planners and meeting hosts and things like that are excited and eager to get back to events, and they took a survey. I will share within the description below the link to this article because it's pretty lengthy and I won't go into all of it today so that you can read it yourself. As you know, I've been doing a lot of different interviews and getting my ear out there to find out how ready venues are, what's going to happen. And again, none of us truly know yet because a lot of it just all depends on regulations. Yes, each state is handling the phase of opening and reopening quite differently. And then also you've got to remember that depending on the venue, their regulations could be super different than another venue. You just have to keep that in mind too, because for example, maybe Marriott or Hilton or Sheraton, they may all have a standard of how they're going to be operating during the reopening, and their regulations may have a corporate regulation of what they need to abide by. But you may not know that some of those properties are not owned corporately. They're owned individually by an individual business owner or a whole different corporation. So just because they have something put into place doesn't necessarily mean that particular venue is following the same regulations. So you want to make sure you do your due diligence and do your homework. If you don't know the answer, of course, reach out. I'd be happy to help. I just did an interview today, which will be posted probably around the same time as this one, with another tourism office, the one in Mesa, Arizona, where we talked about that specifically, how utilizing your relationships at this point in time, especially to lean on one another and to help one another through all of the change of times. This is a time of change where we all have to adapt to what's happening. So the answer to the question of specifically, how eager are people ready to get back to meeting again? And what say you? Do you say people are eager? I would love actually for you to take a moment and leave a comment below. And I want to hear your opinion. Are you eager to get back into meeting with people again? Networking with people again, whether it's to attend a live event, to put on your own live event, or to have that post-graduation party for your children that they got to miss out on their actual physical graduation, or having a party or a reunion or something along those lines. Are you eager for that to happen? I'd love to hear from you. I want to find out what your thoughts are on this. So I'm going to share my screen with you and hop on over here to a website. I'm going to have to do my desktop. I don't think so. Just uploaded a new version of Zoom and it's quite different. So let's see if this works. Yes, I do believe you guys are seeing this. So hopefully you see this. So this is the article from North Star Meetings Group where it talks about a survey that they did of event goers. Are they eager to meet again very soon? So when large business events return after COVID-19 pandemic, most attendees will come back quickly. New health protocols will be the deciding factor. So of course, like I said, depending on where you go, what state you're in, what city within that state, all the regulations will be different on social distancing. So if you read through this article, it's going to talk about this large-scale study that they did, and they did it just recently. This article is dated May 6th, so it came out last week. So it was done within the last couple of weeks by a company called Enigma Research, where they connected with North Star Meeting Group and Sports Travel Brands, where they had surveyed 2,000 event goers, concluding that 94% of respondents specifically miss attending large conferences and trade shows. Now, I think that's pretty accurate because a lot of us who were used to gathering, who were used to the networking and the socializing, miss it. Now, granted, the first few weeks, first 30 days that this happened, where we were all told to stay indoors and to quarantine, we were okay with it because it gave us a time to disconnect, to recharge, and to spend some quality time with our families and each other, and it felt pretty good. But after, more and more days happened, we were starting to get a little bit antsy. And the fact that we, missed those social gatherings. And then going into the month of May, where a lot of significant social gatherings, not just in the event industry and businesses, but personally aren't happening right now. Proms, graduations. It's been kind of a sad time in regards to this. Of course, people are excited for when this comes back into play. So here are some interesting things among other key findings of what they found. Mixed feelings about masks. I won't go into that rabbit hole right now because everyone's got their own opinion on it. Social distancing is a maybe. Smaller is better for some. And I'm going to actually be doing another video on that down the road, and I'd love to get your input on specifically how you would want me to address smaller meetings versus big meetings. Now, that's something that I have worked with clients over the years, where small events could absolutely be profitable. So don't think that, well, I was planning on having a few hundred people there, or if maybe you were a promoter who in the past had successfully put on an event with thousands of people, and you're like, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that now. Doesn't mean that you can't do something, right? You do have followers who want to be engaged with you, who want to be engaged with each other. So for now, as you're getting ready back to get into play, strategically plan and think, how can I look at this in a different way and maybe plan smaller? I'm also going to be talking about something that I'm really excited about, which I'm going to throw this out there, called bionic events. I'm going to be talking about and having some little videos about that here and there, because I'm really doing my research and my homework on what that's going to look like for my clients, because I believe a lot of people are using the terminology hybrid events. And it's sort of like that, but it is really a very different way than what I believe has ever been done in the past, that I think is going to be super cool. It's the huge silver lining around this cloud that I'm going to have my clients utilize as live events start happening again. So if you want to learn more about that, stay tuned or reach out to me and I'd be happy to talk with you about it. So those are the other key findings that they have come across when they did this survey. And it kind of goes into, it breaks it down into numbers. 35% would prefer that all attendees wear face masks. 34% that it would not be a factor in their decision. So it's very, very, very close. And 31% would prefer that masks not even be required at all. So, if you are going to be promoting an event that's happening this fall or early 2021, and you're not sure what to do about the mask thing, just have them there and ready and available to people. Depending on the regulations of that area, that city, that town, it may be required. I don't know the answer to that. I can't give you that answer right now, but just have them there so that people who want them will have them. And again, this bionic event that I was talking about earlier will be a significant factor in that as well. Social distancing is a maybe. Almost half of the respondents, 48%, are more likely to attend if social distancing is enforced at entryways and registration. Somewhat fewer respondents, 44%, favor enforced social distancing between attendees during the event. 1 in 4 are less likely to attend if they need to be 6 feet away. So what does that mean? That means that more people are for the social distancing than they are for having to wear face masks. Now, the social distancing is going to really fall under the category of regulations. And I have been working and reaching out to many different venues to find out what they're putting into place for that. And here's a couple of things that I found out so far that you may find very, very useful. Number one, of course, food and beverage is going to be handled completely differently than it ever has been in the past. And quite honestly, I am actually liking what they're coming out with because it's going to provide a much more clean and sanitized environment for food altogether. Because for me personally, for years, way before COVID-19 was even a thought, I didn't like buffets. My husband and my daughter, they love going Golden Corral because they can get all kinds of food. You know, it's all about the different variety. For me personally, I don't like buffets because of so many hundreds of different hands being on the same actual utensil. So whenever there is a buffet that my clients host, I have always done my best to keep it clean, to have utensils kind of changed out to do the best that we possibly can do in that environment pre-COVID-19 to keep it clean. Well, now the talk is, if think about cafeteria style, right? So the talk is the hotels will have to put into place more staffing. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. More staffing. What does that mean? That means that they're going to be the ones that serve you at the buffet. They'll probably have really nice display with plexiglass over, kind of like what you'll see sometimes at buffets at restaurants. And they're going to be the ones serving. They'll have, of course, the masks on, the gloves, and then they will be serving the food on the plates as people walk through. That way, they're the only ones touching and serving the food. It does a few things, in my opinion, that are positive. I don't really see a whole lot of negative in it other than people who want seconds or, you know, maybe want to have, you know, choose how much of whatever they want. You know, we just have to work with the hotels to make sure that the people serving are communicating with the people coming up, you know, not treat it exactly like a cafeteria style setting. So it'll take a little, that's probably the only negative I see right now is, you know, as the planner, working with them hand in hand a bit more on communication so that the attendees feel like they're really getting what they want when they walk through the line. They're also putting in some places, more sanitizing stations. So at some properties over the years, I would see these things up on the wall where you, just like at a gym, where you put your hand under it and it's got the sanitation, where they're going to be putting a lot more around that are on their own stands. And some hotels are even going to be supplying their own face mask and gloves for people who want them. So a lot of things that are being put into place are a benefit for us as humans, especially when times of year like the flu is rampant, where it'll cut back on the amount of germs that are going around. So looking at it in a positive way. So that is another thing that I think is super important for people to understand, that social distancing, that's what the hotels are doing. Another thing, so when I share this again so that we can get back to that point of social distancing, that most of the people that were polled really do want to have that enforced in the entryways and registrations. So what the hotels have been doing, at least some of the ones that I've been talking to, is they're going to be working more closely with the clients, with the people that are bringing in events, and they're going to, and this is where you as the promoter need to know and to kind of step up your game to be more prepared. I know a lot of the promoters that I work with over the years are like, I don't have my agenda yet ready. But you're going to need to think this through a little bit, strategically planning, if you will, when your breaks are going to be, because you need to be thoughtful as to what the attendees are going to want and what the hotel is going to be enforcing, the social distancing. So here's what I mean by that. If there are other events, no matter how big or small, going on in the same venue that you are in, they're going to be working with each individual event to try and make sure that everybody's breaks are on different times. You know, lunch is probably going to be the most difficult, but on breaks, so that there aren't as many people in the hallways and bathrooms as they had been in the past, because then it would make the social distancing that more hard to adhere to and to enforce. And it would probably even make it, and you think about this, promoters, it would even make the experience of your own attendees all that more a negative if they're having to be placed in a herd setting with a bunch of other people who are on the same break. So keep that in mind. So, you know, even if you have to take the initiative to work with your venue to find that out, do that step so that you can make sure that your, at least your breaks, because your breaks are so much shorter than your meal breaks. Some of you sometimes have 10 minutes, 15, 20, and if you have a half hour, that's great. But you want to make sure that you work it out with the other events that are happening so that we're not on the same break time as everyone else. That even means some people may decide to go right to their own hotel room to use the bathroom. So that's something else too that you have to think about. There's just going to be a little bit more effort that you have to put into place when it comes time for this. And I'm going to work on some tips and some steps of things that you may not have thought of before when it comes to your live event that now you need to start thinking about a little bit more extra effort, if you will, of the logistical things that you have to think about as events start happening again. If you have questions and comments about those things, please leave them here. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer those for you. So as a wrap up to this, I just wanted you to see the survey that came through because I thought it was pretty positive. I was super excited to see it, that the majority of the people are eager to get back to events again, social gatherings. And I would love to hear from you. Again, if you haven't done so yet, leave your comment below. Even if it's yes, I'm eager, or no, I'm not ready yet. I'd love to know because it gives me some great insight as to what you all are thinking. And any questions you might have about what I just said and shared, or if you would like me to go into more depth or detail about what logistics look like post-COVID-19 with working with venues and the social distancing and all of that as I understand it and learn it myself, I would be happy to share it here on a video for all of you to see and know. And I'm continuing to interview more and more people so that all the information that I'm finding out myself, I can share with you. I'm here to help and serve you, and I look forward to being in touch with you. So this is Sherry from SLS Event Planning, being the strategic event planner for you and your business to help you grow your brand. Stay safe and stay in touch.